Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sector 6. And today we've got the next episode of the Big Seven, which is our question series, where what we do is we invite some of the biggest and brightest creators in the Final Fantasy VII community, and we ask them 7 questions. It's pretty simple, it's self-explanatory, does what it says on the tin. Now, what I'm going to be doing is everyone's going to be asked the same questions, and these episodes are pre-recorded, so you're going to get like genuine answers off everybody. There's not going to be any influencing of each other or anything like that. No one's going to know what questions are coming. It's going to be fun. And today's guest, we've got the amazing Philip Hartshorn. Hartshorn?
Hartshorn, yeah.
Hartshorn. There we go. I'll say it right. Hartshorn. Um, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Philip introduce himself and tell you what it is that he does, what kind of content he creates, and where you can find him, basically. So yeah, go for it, Phil.
Awesome. Thank you so much. My name is Philip. I'm a filmmaker, and I actually grew up playing Final Fantasy, and that's kind of what got me into filmmaking, inspired me to pursue that avenue and start my business and stuff. So it's been so fun to kind of come full circle and then make content about it,
Yeah.
after I've had my experience. And you can see my such misadventures as my documentary on YouTube, where I lived as a Shaolin Buddhist warrior monk
Which is
in China.
definitely recommended viewing, 100%.
Yeah, and especially if you don't like me, because you'll see me get beat up quite a lot. But yeah, besides
What
that, you
do
can see me analyze the cinematic language of Final Fantasy and others on my gaming channel as well. So it's great to be here. I'm excited.
Oh, brilliant. No, thank you for being here. Like, it is genuinely, some of the people that we've got being on here, yourself included, it is going to be amazing. Don't forget, though, if you've not subscribed to my channel or Philip's channel, get yourselves over there. The link to Philip's channel is going to be in the description, so make sure you head over there and subscribe and check out all of his content. But I think what we'll do is we'll jump straight into it and get to the first question, if that's okay with you.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Okay, so the first question is quite a simple one. What was your first experience with Final Fantasy VII? So, what was it that introduced you to that game specifically?
So first game I ever played as a kid, as a baby, was Final Fantasy 1. And then after like for the NES, because like we didn't have the Super Nintendo or anything. So then much later in life, circle back around, get a chance to rent Final Fantasy 10 for the PS2. And then after that, I was like, oh yeah, it's this game. Like I love this game, Final Fantasy, as a kid. So then I had this opportunity to like go backwards and kind of experience them all. And then I remember my friend one day brought over and he's like, oh man, you play this one. This one's awesome. You like 10? You're gonna like 7. Check this out. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. I remember him showing me like the Ifrit summon and everything that first
Yes.
time. But you want to know the funniest thing is this? I realized after this, back when I was in like 3rd grade as a kid,
Yeah.
is when the game had originally come out. And this, I was at my cousin's house as a kid, and I actually watched the entire ending of FF7.
No
Totally
way.
spoiled. Totally ruined. I just remember like Sid and everything. I was like, he said a bad word. And I was like, what's going on? And it's crazy. And then there's the meteor and everything. And I remember just being like, this is crazy. It's like a movie, like a little kid.
So you'd already
And then,
pre-spoiled yourself without realizing it.
yeah. So then I was playing it eventually. I bought it after my friend showed me. And I'm just like, this is that game. Like it escaped me. It escaped me until I was like, because I knew it was Final Fantasy. I didn't remember exactly what one or so
Oh
it's so
no.
cool. But yeah, I mean, I just love the series my whole life. Whether it was the NES one, which by the way could never beat as a kid because it's like impossible
Yeah, this is it. I
as
mean,
a
a lot of those older
4-year-old.
games, like those retro games from like the NES and the SNES, they're absolutely insane. Like, especially
Yeah,
then. Like now as an adult, get
yeah,
through
you can
them
get
no
it as an
problem.
adult. I mean, it was like a 4-year-old and a 8-year-old, and we're just like, what are all these numbers and stuff?
What do
But
we
yeah,
do?
love Final Fantasy. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I love that. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Classic. So yeah,
that kind
that's
of
kind of my
lead.
story. No, it's probably gonna lead into like, and that's what got me into the rest. And I loved it more and more. Like as I got, as it inspired me to get more educated in the creative arts and film and everything, and it made me appreciate it more and love all the games
Well,
going
yeah,
forward.
exactly. So the next one was going to be like, what would you say the biggest way the game influenced you would be? Would it be more of like a personal kind of thing, or would it more like a career sort of thing? Like, what ways did Seven influence you in general?
Totally, I would say both.
Both.
7 in particular, and the entire base. Yeah, because I mean, even as a kid, just the imagination. Like
Yeah.
I was talking about it on my Twitter. Like Nobuo's music as a kid is like such a strong influence on my imagination growing
Never
up, and
heard anything
how it
like
colors the
it.
scenes. Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah, and how it colors the scenes and everything. I remember as a kid always like loving John Williams Star Wars
Yeah.
soundtracks and just on my little like Walkman tape recorder and everything listening. And it's the same thing with Nobu, just to hear the Star Wars stuff, but then to see that level of sophistication in like this NES game was
Yeah.
crazy. And these tunes that you can't stop humming and stuff. So then as they got more technology, come to 7 and beyond, it's just like they start going cinematic with it. And then yeah, it certainly influenced me to get into film and just the arts in general, music and everything. And it's just been such a big influence on me. I would say mainly on just my imagination and kind of my
Yeah.
inspiration with my art. And
Well, yeah,
I'm
this
sure
is
a
it.
lot
I
of artists
mean,
agree. Yeah,
sorry, someone outside just decided going to go mad with
they
that horn.
disagree.
But no, what I was going to
Yeah,
say was, like, with a lot of the old games, like in interviews recently that Sakaguchi's done, where he talks about negative space and the use of that, it kind of
exactly.
encouraged you to use your imagination in a lot of ways and nurtured it almost. Do you know what I mean? So I think with a lot of us that experienced 7 back then, compared
Yeah.
to the games that we'd previously played, potentially, because like, I know for me, 7 was my introduction to JRPGs completely. It was like the
Oh, that's
very
awesome.
first one I played. So it's probably why I've got so much love for it, because like from that point onwards, it
Absolutely.
was just like Suikoden, Breath of Fire, all the other great PlayStation
Yeah, the
1
classic.
RPGs. Oh, it was crazy.
Classics. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good times, man. Good times.
Absolutely. And I think the negative space too is a whole other conversation is why people are very one side of the fence on remake for the most part, because
Definitely.
your imagination fills it in. If it doesn't match up, like this is the real thing that the creators imagine. If
Yep.
that doesn't match up with your version of it, then it's kind of jarring, right?
It's
So a
like
lot
the
of people can get
conversation
freaked
that
out
we
by
had
it.
on Twitter the other day about the
Yep,
platefall scene. Like, I've got a bit of a different
exactly.
take on platefall to a lot of yous, but it is purely because of the image that I've built up back then. Because it
Perspective.
was left
Yep.
to your imagination what goes on in a lot of aspects. You don't go back into
Totally.
Sector 7. It's kind of like it's a graveyard, basically. That's how I viewed it.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
So, yeah, I
And
agree. Jarring as well. I love that we got jarring in there. That's brilliant.
yeah.
It's become a meme. I
It's,
love it.
I know, it is, literally. Yeah.
Oh,
But
that's
awesome.
brilliant.
Yeah, no, just massive inspiration in general.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. Yeah.
Who, in the entire Final Fantasy VII compilation, is your favourite character?
I have to say Tifa in the Final Fantasy VII, and no, it's not because of her
No, no,
gongagas,
no,
as
I
I'm sure
know.
you think.
The
As I'm sure you're thinking. It's
martial
actually
arts
because I
thing.
remember the martial arts for one, for
Yeah.
sure. But when I was a kid, I just barely started martial arts. I
All
was doing
right.
fencing back then, which is more swordplay. But
Yeah, yeah.
for me, it was really like you'll notice Tifa's such a human character because she's really her biggest weakness is her kindness.
Yeah.
She's overly kind, so people either can walk all over her, or she actually hurts her friend and lover Cloud by not telling him the truth because she doesn't want to
Yeah.
hurt him. Right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like what a human weakness to have, and you don't really see that level of subtlety first of all in a lot of games for sure or stories. So that was really cool, and yeah, I mean, I could relate to that because sometimes when you're too nice and you're too kind in your life, a lot
You
of
get
people take
trod on.
advantage of that
Yeah.
and everything. Exactly. Right. So you got to kind of find that. But I love that she's also very strong. She's incredibly strong. She's
Yeah,
martial
this is it.
artist.
She's kind of keeping step with all these crazy people who've got like genetic
Yeah.
mutations and experimentation done on
Yeah.
them and everything like that. And she's just there like, what? I'll
Yeah.
punch something. I've got a dolphin,
That's what I'm
mate.
saying. But like she just put in the work, right? These guys are all on the sauce. Like
Yeah.
they're not natural, man.
Yeah.
They're on the juice. They got the Genova juice.
They've got spotty
And she's
backs.
just like, yeah, she's natural. She's like, yeah, I trained with my master for like 10 years. What did you do? I got an injection in like Ojo's lab.
Just lifted a
Okay.
bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Unfair,
no.
man.
Love that. I had a
Performance
feeling that
enhancing
I'm
drugs.
sure I've seen before that Tifa was your kind of like favorite character. I'm sure I've seen it
Oh
before.
yeah, I love Tifa, and it's just the list goes on. But I mean, I think even within the story and like her
Yeah,
function within the story, so meaningful for Cloud, and it's kind of that like that his taking back of himself
yeah.
is her
She's
who was
definitely an
with him as
essential
a child.
character.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, right,
100%.
and it's her being there and her knowing him and able to help him like reconstruct himself. And it's just such. I think that scene's gonna be like the most
Oh, I
beautiful
know.
thing
I hope
coming out. Yeah,
that they do it justice genuinely because, like, that whole passage of the game, I know like, it's really impactful for a lot of people.
yeah,
So, yeah, I
and
really
it
hope.
probably will. They probably will do it justice because what we know is Nojima, who does the script for the game.
Yeah.
Apparently, that was one of his huge contributions. Was that he kind of like snuck that in him, like the level of
I love
abstractness,
how they
like
all
not
did
not
this.
the
Like this game
yeah
being
exactly.
developed, they were all just sneaking stuff in on each other. Like no one's going to notice
Isn't it great?
this.
Isn't it great? Yeah. Yeah, like that level of abstract, I guess, is probably
Yeah,
what he's gonna say. Like that level of super, super abstract stuff. Even though like that probably was still in some way gonna happen in the plot.
yeah.
And the good thing is he's now has a chance to rewrite it, right? That part of the script. So he's gonna really get to sink his teeth in even more. If that was like one of his favorite parts, we're in for a treat. We're
Yeah,
in
this
for
is
a
one of
real
the big
treat.
things that I'm really looking forward to because back then
Yeah.
the technology was restricting their imagination in a lot of ways because not only was it the PS1 era, but it was really early in the PS1 era. It was like the first step
Yeah.
into that 3D territory.
Right. I mean, look
So
at FF9, right? Compared to FF7. It's like
miles
night and day.
difference. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's
That
crazy.
was at the end of the PS1, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was pretty much just before the PS2. Oh, was the PS2 already out? I think the PS2 was actually already
Well,
out when 9
this
dropped.
is classically why 9 didn't sell as much is because 10 came out like very soon after.
Yeah. Oh, there
And
were
the
good
PS2.
days then when they used to just spit game after. Oh, and they were all bangers as well.
Can you imagine like now if we were like, oh man, like FF16's coming out, but FF17's coming out, and like a couple months after that, like I don't know which one to choose. Like, what a good problem to have.
It
If can you
was, it
imagine?
was, it was glorious. Like we definitely ate well back then.
Yeah, right.
We were well fed.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
can you imagine waiting? We only got to wait like 6 months for the next Final
oh
Fantasy.
no! Imagine if
Yeah.
we knew what was coming back then. Like, what? We're gonna wait 5 years for a get? What?
I
What?
remember hearing in like 2010 that like Versus 13 might be delayed until 2012, and I remember thinking like that's not possible because when you're younger you don't have like time feels
No
like it lasts like
concept.
1,000
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
Yeah, like a day feels like 20 years. You're like that's 2012. That's like 90 years from now. And yeah,
Well, that's the
right. It
whole
came
thing
out in
why they say that you
20.
feel like time speeds up as you get older because you've lived longer, therefore that year is a smaller percentage of your existence, and
Yeah,
therefore you perceive it as less.
totally.
Crazy, I
That's
hate it.
interesting. Yeah. Yep.
Oh.
Exactly.
So going into the
Exactly.
next one then, I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this one, but how do you feel about Remake so far? Like, what are the positives? What are the negatives, if there are any for you? Like generally, how are you feeling about it? Are you positive?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an absolute masterpiece, and
Yeah,
anybody who's heard my stuff doesn't knows I don't shy away from saying that. It's just the level of creativity, the level of writing, that the fact that they've taken this thing, which is dead. It's a 23-year-old,
yeah,
25-year-old, however old it is now, game, and the fact that it is not only alive and well, but like we're talking about it right now. Twitter
thriving.
is exploding with people talking about it like
Yeah,
lunatics, YouTubers making theories nonstop. Like it shouldn't be possible. It shouldn't be possible. We're making theories about FF7, even though we're getting the same exact story, just completed or what's the word?
tweaked.
Tweaked and revised.
Yeah,
But it's just like it's so exciting, and I don't know how they did. They did this sort of like they mined into this like very Marvel Cinematic Universe thing that kind of took over Hollywood, where it's like, wait a second, let's make the fans a part of the conversation.
yeah,
We want people to be talking to each other in between the films. We want people to be talking about theories and be a part of the conversation. And it's just so alive.
yeah,
And I don't know how they did this. It's genius. So beyond even that, like sort of like meta, existence of the project, I think just the art of it is the highest level filmmaking and writing and acting and stuff. Because a lot of people don't catch it because they tend to get very excited about like the battle scenes and everything. But
yeah.
I
Get
talk about this
caught
a
up
lot
in
on my
it.
channel. Right, right. But like I mean, the shot selection again, to get into like the cinematics and stuff, the
Yes.
shot selection, the composition, it's classic Square Enix, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at even like FF15, there's just so few cutscenes, right?
Mm.
And then in this game, it's just that old, rich level of detail in the dialogue and stuff like FF7 original, but now it's fully voiced, animated, acted, facial capture, motion capture, and it's absolutely mind blowing. And yeah, what they're doing with the writing is cool because they're so bold in what they're doing, yet it's not that bold. I mean, it's their
Yeah.
project; they're just finishing. So
One of the
yeah,
craziest
I've
things
got
for me as well is how many new people are getting into it. Like, obviously, all
yes.
of us that played Seven back then, we were always going to play it. Like, if you're in love
Exactly.
with Seven, you're going to play it. But the
Mhm,
amount of
mhm.
new people that are coming into the franchise now purely because of remake, it is a
Right.
testament to how good of a job they've done with the game overall. Like, I know some people
It is.
disagree with some of the narrative choices and things like that, but they've done a phenomenal job.
Oh, yeah, and listen, we were talking about the negative space earlier. It's
Yeah,
sort of a classic perfect proof
yeah.
of the negative space idea. Like I was saying,
People's
like people
expectations are
if it didn't
being,
match up with their imagination, right,
yeah,
it drives them insane because, there was, like, polls done and stuff, like, generally, people who are new who did not play the original, who just played
Yes.
the remake, love it a lot more on average because the old fans get very like
Caught up
convoluted
in
if they're
headcanon.
comparing their own imagination. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean
You've
that's
got to
in
watch
play right
out for
there.
that headcanon. You've definitely got to watch out for that
You
headcanon.
have to. And
Oof.
it's a shame because people like I noticed a lot of people aren't even enjoying it. And that's what I encourage you to do. I just want everybody to appreciate the, the art that's going into it. Like really try to not just look at every scene like, okay, when's the next scene? When's the next scene? Just pretend it's a new story and enjoy it. And you
Yeah.
will just it's such a rich storytelling. And I see a lot of people, they're not even like paying attention to the scenes. They're just like, yeah. I want to see Wall Market.
I
Where's
want
Wall
to get to
Market?
this bit.
They're not even
Yeah.
paying attention to like these incredible quiet scenes with Cloud and Tifa, Aerith and everybody and Barrett, like developing these characters so deeply, and they're just like, yeah, whatever. I want to see where's the Sephiroth flashback, where's the Wall Market.
A
It's
lot
like,
of the little conversations that you hear when you're walking around as well, like the little
oh,
NPC
such
conversations, like,
good world building, man. Good world building.
yeah,
That's a whole other aspect of it. The world building's being expanded. The compilation. I mean, we talk about Intergrade, right?
yep,
Like, come on. Nero and Vice getting included, completely cleansed of any like cheesiness and stuff. It is
yeah,
really
like the
cool.
presentation. Like, I've not played it still because I've still not
Mhm.
got a PS5, but
No worries. I had to run over Palmer with a Shinra truck to get mine, so it's all good.
love it. But
Mhm.
yeah, the presentation in that, like when you go back to Dirge, it really is bad. The presentation, like the concepts in it, I really enjoy the concepts in Dirge of Cerberus. It was just the delivery and the presentation, and when you come
Yeah,
and see those characters in intermission, oh
it's beautiful, yeah. Well,
yeah, I
it's
mean,
just that's what I keep saying to people who are like kind of naysayers and stuff like that. They're gonna drop the ball. It's gonna fail. I keep saying like, what do you need to see to
look
have
at what
faith?
they're
Because
improving. Yeah,
it's one thing to take like Barrett, Cloud, like they know these characters very well. They were
yeah,
very well
well
portrayed in the original.
established.
Well, it's one thing to make them better, Tifa and everything, but Nero and Vice,
Yep.
like those guys are now awesome. Like there's nobody that's hammier and crazier. Even Genesis is not as cheesy as those
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
So
I'll give
like
you.
they can do it. They can do anything and make it good. And the execution, as I always say, right? It's all about execution
Yeah,
and narrative. Any idea can be good. Like, and I said this to somebody before too. Like the best sounding, craziest theory you've heard that you're so excited about, if executed poorly, is trash, is garbage.
yeah,
That's all it's about. Is about how it's delivered.
yeah.
And like the weirdest kind of like lackluster one you've heard,
If it's
where
got
oh, if that happens,
perfect
my
delivery,
world will end. If that happens, like that could be the best thing ever if
yep,
executed well. So again, that's
yeah.
pretty much all that matters. Like
Yeah,
in narrative.
100%. It comes down to the execution and the delivery of it. Because, like you
Mhm.
say, you've seen so many brilliant ideas just fall by the wayside because
Oh yeah,
I don't want to say not enough effort was put in, but maybe something went wrong in the development
yeah,
process or something like that. It is a
absolutely.
shame when you see it because you can see the potential there, and that's the thing. You can see it there, and it's like, no, so close.
Yeah, it's yeah,
It's like the end of
exactly.
Game of
Yeah.
Thrones. Like, no.
I was gonna say Game of Thrones. Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
perfect example, right? And even like a good idea in a incompetent person's hands, which is Game of Thrones, right?
yeah.
The writer didn't finish the books, so these idiots tried finishing it. They can't write themselves out of a
No,
a closet.
no, they cannot.
Worst thing ever, right?
This
Horrible,
is it. I
ruined the
don't
show
know who I
forever.
blame more, them or George. Like George for not just going, no, no, I'll
Yeah,
finish
it's
first.
frustrating. We kind of have to blame them more because like
They did it.
if they were competent, it could have been good, right? It
Yeah,
could
they
have
could
been
have.
passable. But
Yeah,
it's
because
like
he obviously gave
horrible.
them the main plot
Yeah.
points towards the end, so they could have at least meandered through it in a semi-acceptable way rather than
Or
sprint into the
yeah,
finish.
right. Or if he didn't, even if he was super vague, if you're a good writer, you can make it better. You can make it good,
Well, yeah,
right?
this
And
is
they
it.
didn't do that. They did not do that. They dropped the ball completely, ruined everything. If there was anything good, it came out
Barry.
bad, and if they did anything original, it was garbage. So
Yeah,
that's a perfect example. Game
it's
of
a
Thrones.
shame. They'll remake it in 20 years. Someone else will do it. Hopefully, George will have finished the books and someone else will do it.
Exactly right.
Now,
So
moving on to the next one, because we went off on a bit of a tangent, which I love, to
of
be
course.
fair. Final Fantasy VII has got a lot of music in it, a hell of a lot of music in it.
Oh,
And I'm possibly going to make an impossible request here, but which track across all of them would you say is your favourite one or that you enjoy the most? You know what? Which one gets you the most? I don't know, it depends what you're looking for. Like, which one makes you
yeah.
feel the most? Which one gets you hyped the most? Like, which one
Yeah,
resonates
true. It
with you?
depends on what category, I suppose. But I suppose for now, one of them is certainly Tifa theme
Yeah.
because I love it so much. I learned to play like the piano collections version on
Oh, no
piano.
way.
So Love it so much. Yeah, and I think it's one of the best character themes that Nobu's done. He always nails them.
Yeah,
Always,
he
always,
does.
because you get the feeling for the character and his character themes. You know, it's not just like a cool
Yeah, he
sound
conveys a
that you're listening to.
massive amount of emotion through the music that he does. It's
Exactly. And like her personality is in that song. You know, you can feel that sort of like motherly care that she's known for having with
yes,
Marlene, and all the rest of the party and everything. You can feel that sort of like reserved feeling, yet like quiet strength, you know, Tifa Lockhart and everything. It's just incredible. I can't like believe the depth of it. And especially in these older games, man, when he didn't have a real instruments. That's another reason, short tangent, the Pixel remasters, man, they're getting real music now with Nobu
yeah,
overseeing it.
it's
You
gonna be
see, I posted
weird.
about it on Twitter. Like,
Yeah,
I
it's
posted a little snippet. I'm like, what? This
what's
is
what's happened
crazy.
there?
So that's pretty exciting, man. Because
Uh,
I mean, the fact that he could portray that with those limitations says so much about his skill.
Yeah,
You know.
I
So
mean the music
he-
that he does, and I suppose the fact that he could do it with such limited resources back then in like the
yeah,
NES,
it's incredible.
SNES, PS1 days, it's a testament to
Mhm.
how skilled and talented a guy and a team that they are.
Yeah,
It
and I remember
genuinely
him
is.
saying in an interview too, like when he got to PS1, he was like a kid in a candy store because now he's got like more channels for sounds. It's
Yeah,
not just like beep, you know, it's not just like bass and treble. And it's insane the stuff he can do on the PS1. And then look at even the difference between PS1 or FF7, FF8,
yeah.
right? And
Oh, the
then
music in 8
FF10,
is
FF7.
insane.
It's so good. It's so good. And
Probably the best
again,
part
once
of
he
the
got
game, and I
access to the
like
North,
8. Like, I'm a fan of Final Fantasy 8, but the music probably is by far the best part.
oh, the music is it's so unique. And that's why another reason I love Nobuo is like he is able to get such a mood in each of his projects, you know, like complete mood
Yeah.
and atmosphere for the projects. 8 has this like there's some really cool songs in 8 that are there's nothing like that in any other Final Fantasy. Like all
Yeah.
those
The battle
sound
music.
themes like
Oh,
Under Her Control and everything. Those songs are crazy. Got this like honky tonk piano as my
yeah,
girlfriend
it's like they
described it.
just
So
decided, like, we're going to go as crazy as possible with the music for the game, guys, because it's got a pretty crazy
yeah,
story, so.
totally.
And it
Yeah, a lot of like
worked.
electric piano stuff. It's just it's such a mood. It
Yeah.
really is. You have the like military themes and everything. It's great. But Seven is the same thing. There's
Yeah.
just this like I did like an analysis of the Seven soundtrack years ago. I should like repost it. It's so
Oh,
old, but
we'll,
it's
we'll get
before
a
I had
link to
like a
that.
following
We'll get a link to that in the description.
of great. Yeah.
Get it
No,
going.
I did the thing. I was talking about I did like a percent of song. I think it was like almost 60 to I think it was 70% of the songs in FF7 OG soundtrack have like vibraphones or this tuned percussion, like marimba vibraphones and everything. It's a massive part of the entire soundtrack. I remember saying I was like, they're either gonna keep that or they're gonna go for a more Hollywood
Yeah.
feel. This was like long before Remake came out, like 2015. Or they're gonna go for a Hollywood feel and make it very modern and stuff, which is what they did.
Yeah.
But they still have some of that tuned percussion in a few of the songs, so it's cool they kept that.
Yeah, kind of kept it in as kind of like a melody or something like that, that kind of thing.
Yep, totally.
Oh,
It's
nice. I
great.
like it. So, carrying on with remake now, we're deep into remake territory now. That's where we're going with these last two questions. So,
All right, what do we got?
what are your hopes? What is one of the things that you want the most from Final Fantasy VII remake going forwards? Because we're going to get at least two more installments of this series, I'd say. Potentially four altogether, so three more. But I think they're
I would say
probably going to
3 or
shoot for
4. Yeah,
three. Yeah, it
that
depends
would be
what they do. It depends how much they change things, really. Because if they stick to the scale that they've gone with Midgar and expand everything to that scale, we're looking at like five or six.
yeah, definitely a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah,
So it all depends on what they do. But like, what is something that you want? What are you looking for from the future of remake?
I'm looking forward to more characterization, more character study. I would say moments like Cloud and Tifa and her apartment where they're just talking,
Yeah,
and I want to see them traveling. Like, and I'm getting what I asked for, man. Look at this short film they gave us. Like I joked on Baby Seal's channel. This short film they give us from like the 5-second walk it takes in the original to go like boop, 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 across the world map to Calm
yep.
from Midgar. We get a 5 to 10 minute short film of just like them traveling together.
Just
We've
chatting,
never seen it.
just taking it easy.
We've never seen that at all in the original. Just
Yeah,
how do they talk when they're walking to get a chocobo and stuff? And that was the coolest thing ever for me. Like probably a massive 100K or more budget on that little
yeah.
movie that they gave
Oh
us
yeah,
for visual works.
definitely.
Like, and we don't deserve that. Like they didn't have to do that. It didn't even give us anything. And they're just like, you know what? We
There
love
you
you guys so
go.
much. Take it.
Enjoy.
So that's yeah. This is why I get really confused when people like a lot of people who hate it will just be like, oh yeah, the Zach stuff. Yep, I'm out. That horrible. I'm like, wait, did you see that though? Did you see the 10-minute short film? Do you care about that? I really think a lot of people don't really care about the characters and stuff. They just care about this like kind of imagine version that they thought of as
Yeah.
kids, and if it deviates at all, nothing else is good, and it's
See,
a
one
shame.
of the
I
things for
really
me,
encourage you guys.
yeah, one of the things for me with Remake was I kind of changed how I framed it. So initially, I was going into it expecting it to be the
Yeah,
original game. Expanded, of course,
right.
not one for one, but still that original game. And I was a little bit, I'm not too sure about this towards the end of the game. Like, they're changing a lot of things. This isn't a remake anymore for me. And
Mm-hmm.
when I reframed the game in my mind as a sequel, which is genuinely coming across as that to me, like they've
Mm-hmm.
kind of described it as like the fifth game in the compilation and things like that. So it definitely feels like a continuation. But since I changed my perspective to that, I've had no issues with it. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not
Yeah,
going into
yeah,
it with expectations of the original game.
totally.
I'm going into it thinking this is new.
Yeah, and it's a revision too. Like they've said, it's like I say to people who are like upset about it, say, listen, it's tough for people who haven't like gotten and created a lot of art. I understand,
Yeah,
like you haven't been there, but like try to put yourself in their shoes 25 years later,
yeah.
tell an artist to go back to their project and just redo the entire thing exactly the same.
They're not going
Like,
to do that.
the moment you finish a project as an artist, you're like, I wish I could have done that different. I wish I could have improved that. Oh, I had so many ideas. That's just how it is. 25 years later
Yeah,
with new
think
technology.
with all the sequels
It's
as
an
well.
insane ask. Yeah.
So think how
Yeah,
many
yeah.
different things they're going to want. They're like, oh,
Uh,
we could tie this into this, and we could link this to
totally.
this, and this could work. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I
So
agree. I mean, it's
you gotta kind
both.
of
I
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
feel like it's both.
Exactly.
It's a recall. It's remaking the original game, so we're getting to see all those
Totally.
places. We're getting to experience all those moments in like this new technology and this new landscape that gaming's in these days. But at the same time,
Totally.
they're getting to be creative and give us more. Which, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, it's like an optimized version of the original too. They're completing it, so it's great.
Yeah, it is
Yeah, that's
brilliant.
what I look forward to. More characterization, more character moments, and making these people more human. Which again, look at Yuffie, it's happening.
Yeah,
It's
more of the
happening.
same, definitely.
Yeah, and
Because
I'm not so worried about like the plot,
no,
the additions to the same plot that we're getting, like because it's just so well told. I'm just along for the ride. I love these characters. I love these artists. Like I'm gonna enjoy their art. I'm
yeah,
not gonna whine because it's not like what I
everything
would
that
have
they've
done.
added
I
so
don't know
far.
better. I
Well,
don't
yeah,
know better. I have not written like several world-changing,
exactly.
forging the medium of games stories.
This is it.
I'm
These
not
are the
gonna sit here and tell them
people
like,
who
yeah,
created
yeah,
all of those phenomenal games that we've enjoyed. Like we were talking about earlier on, that crazy
exactly.
90s, early noughties period of Final Fantasy and just RPGs in general.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these are the people that did
And they're
that. Let them do the
finally able.
thing.
Yeah, they finally got the tools to to tell like their best favorite story. Like you're really gonna tell them no, but you
But
love the original
stop it.
story when they. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But if you love the original story when they were so passionate, you want them to not be passionate now. Like it just doesn't make sense
Yeah,
if you think
because
about it like that.
if you tie them into a box and constrain them like that, then the project's not gonna it's not gonna be fulfilled anyway. Because, like we
They'd
were
be
saying
dead
earlier
inside.
about,
Yeah.
well, like we were saying earlier about delivery, you're not going to deliver
Yep.
your best work if you're locked in a box.
Oh
You're
God, no, you're
just
gonna be
not
passionless, like
like a robot.
phoned in.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
I
I mean,
completely agree.
look at the life in this project. Again, beautiful.
It is. And the last question, sticking with remake again, it's not so
Okay.
much a
All right.
hope, it's a prediction. So
Okay.
it doesn't have to be about anything in specific. I'm not going to put people on the spot and like, is Zach alive? Is Zach alive? What's
Right.
happening with Zach? I'm not going to do that. That's mean. It's just a case of, is there anything that you're particularly convinced is going to happen or is going to change or, just some aspect of the story that you're convinced about?
Let me think for a second because
Yeah,
this
yeah,
will be
no worries.
edited.
We'll,
I
we'll,
don't have.
we'll do the magic of video.
I would love to, and I've talked about this a lot before, see a Sephiroth backstory. This is my big kind of like, I don't know if you want to call it a theory or an
Yeah,
idea. It's just something I would do if I was writing it. We need to see Sephiroth's backstory. And I keep saying, like, notice the Masamune, nobody talks about this,
yep,
is a katana. There's only one place on Earth that has Asian influenced weaponry. It's Wutai.
yep.
Why does Sephiroth have a Wutai weapon when he's, Shinra, which is all Western weapons? He's the only person. and it's like this legendary blade that's like incredibly powerful. Why would he have
Well,
that?
yeah, in the
So I was
original
like,
game, it was a case of only he can wield it, wasn't it?
oh, exactly, yeah.
That was the
So it's kind of
hint.
like, yeah, I think Cloud says something along those lines, like
Yeah,
only he could, wield it because it's so big.
yeah,
Possibly it's implied, or it's magical. We don't really know, but I hope they expand on the lore. And I figured it could be like, say we treat it like the Iliad, which I'm a big
yeah.
Greek myth fan. So we treat it like the Iliad, and his nemesis during the Wutai War, how he earned his title as the strongest, could be he fought this like Godo character
Yeah.
or whoever it was who wielded that weapon. He kills him, he takes it, and he goes from there. Like, can you imagine? It'd be
That
great.
would be
So,
amazing.
and that's how he earns his title as the strongest, and maybe like relates to this person because he's lonely in his power. That's another powerful person. But as he kills him, he realizes now I'm really alone, and it kind of like again forges him on that path of like he's completely alone. He's got nobody, got
Solitude,
no
yeah.
friends, no one can understand him. So I think that'd be great.
Yeah, he's
And he's
kind of
just
on a
so much.
different level completely in every way,
Yeah,
basically. And to be
totally. And that
fair,
could literally be a 60-second flashback or like
yeah.
a 5-hour DLC.
Well,
It could
this is
be
the
anything.
thing. This is what I'm thinking because it does make sense that we would get something like that because in the first Soldier, I believe it is, we're getting something that's to do with the creation of Soldier, and not only that, I'm pretty sure we're getting something in Ever Crisis as well. So
We might, yeah. It's like a child, like little Sephiroth. Yeah,
yeah, so
that's
they
that's
could
awesome too.
easily have like that in First Soldier, and then in one of the later stages of Remake, we get something where we get the in between. So we've had really
Yep.
young Sephiroth, we've had now Sephiroth,
Mm,
now we're going to get the middle bit and like more of his
totally.
formative years, maybe.
It's exciting. Yeah.
No,
So
I like that.
I
I
can't
like
wait. That's
that.
something I want to see, and I think we will see. Even if I'm not right, I think we'll see that what
Yeah,
his how he became this Anakin Skywalker. Kind of like we see him fall, right? But we need to see his rise. We need to
yeah.
see him become the strongest and see why he's a hero. So
It's the
that,
only
that's what I want to see.
opportunity they're going to have to do it as well, if we're being realistic, because Remake is going to be it. I genuinely feel that once Remake's done, Seven's done.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Totally,
It's going
totally.
to be put to one
They're
side.
doing.
So they've
Yeah, this is
got
a
to.
is a bookend. This is the bookend.
Yeah, so they've got to do something. If they intend to do something like that, it's going to be now. And
Totally.
I'd be shocked if they didn't, to be honest, because everyone loves Sephiroth. Come on.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
just
did
do
it for
it.
Yuffie. They'll do it for
If
Sephiroth.
you're watching Square Enix, do it.
Do it. Yeah.
Well, no, that's
Awesome.
brilliant. Right, so
Thank you, dude.
that's the end of the questions. So first
Been
off,
great.
thank you
Yeah.
very much for being on here. Like, it has been an absolute pleasure to get you on. Is there anything that you want to say? Anything you want to plug? Anything you want to push?
I would say, yeah, just come by Twitch if you want to have these conversations live. I love talking to you guys about it. I love hearing your personal experience. Come by the gaming channel on YouTube if you want to see my analysis. Drop by the main channel if you want to see how to fight like Tifa. And that's pretty much it.
Yes.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh no, no. Honestly, thank you for coming. And I can honestly say the Twitch streams are hilarious, especially when the smelling salts get involved.
Yes.
It's
Also, there's
absolute.
an
Oh
item in
no.
FF7. So if you're wondering what that is,
Ooh.
come by.
No, been there myself. It definitely lights you up a little bit, doesn't it?
It hits hard. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Awesome. Yeah,
Well,
thank you so much. I
no,
really
thank
appreciate it.
you. And thank you to everyone for watching. It has been a brilliant time. Don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe for future content. Check out the description as well. I'll put all the links to Philip's stuff so that you can find him on like Twitch and YouTube, on Twitter, everything like that. And yeah,
Thank
more
you.
importantly than anything, have a great day.